We black again, family. Black power. This is the General Sara, Seti. We black again. This is the Truth Hour with General Seti. Kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. That's right, family. Ring the alarm. KingSeti.com. Online marketplace. The official General Sara, Seti DVD lectures. T-shirts and hoodies. African and Kemetic jewelry for the family, kings and queens. We got holistic herbal tonics and remedies, 25% off at this time. Home decor accessory for every room in the house, living room, dining room, kitchen, and bathroom. We got you. KingSeti.com. Pull the fire alarm, GeneralSeti.com. Seti University, over 900 video presentations on African heritage, history, nation building, spirituality, and mental warfare. Advanced African academics developing the Black nation one lesson at a time. The complete General Sara Seti website. Get your ass in class and join today. Highlighting 2 raw for YouTube band videos. Oh man, 2 raw for YouTube videos. We also got highlighting the Black Woman is God video library series and catalog. General Sara Seti catalog on the Black Woman is God. The making of a nigga. Seti University. The making of a nigga so raw can only be shown on GeneralSeti.com. Also, the making of the white man, from the caves of Europe to the hills of Appalachia. General Seti, keep it popping on Patreon. BPC making noise, we never come. Exclusive live stream, too hot to handle, on YouTube. Just dropped was Ancient Egypt, powered by vibranium light stones from the Congo. Very powerful information. You need it. Part 2 is tomorrow. If you want to see part 1, you can join Patreon today. And we got tiers, we got 5 different tiers. And so it don't make it make a difference which one you join. You gonna eat. I'm gonna make sure you gonna eat. Okay. Highlighting also why ice people never worship sun gods. Where are the original books of the Bible? The ancient Egyptian origins of the Jedi Knight. Highlighting on Patreon, General Sara Seti. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube pages, King Seti, General Seti, Sara Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing crazy, because I will ban your ass. You'll get up out of here, and these moderators will ban your ass too. Damn, they got on that nigga. They should have got on him, goddamn it, but I was gonna beat him up. I was gonna get my work in on that nigga before he got up out of here. Now, we dealing with today the ancient Egyptian navies on how they dominated the Indian Ocean. You see how they dominated the Indian Ocean. And so the thing is, where is that? Matter of fact, there it is right there. There it is right there. Hold on, family. Give me 5 seconds. Hold on just a second. All right. We black in the house, family. We black in the house. Now, I see some people that came in. We dealing with the ancient Egyptian navies and how they dominated the Indian Ocean. I come with receipts. That's what I come with. You see, I bring receipts, and that's how I keep coming. Now let's come out of this one, and we'll continue on. We're gonna be strong on this one, and I continue somewhat with the last, but we want to stick and make sure we get this information. You see, sometimes I had to explain myself, on some of this shit, and I get so into it. I'm passionate, about this information and shit, and I've been went off and forgot what the hell the damn topic is. You see, and shit, I'll be on and be ready. Nah, the thing what we got to understand, our people is a people of water. You see, we got many, many great rivers, lakes in Africa, oceans on every side. Great, the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, the Gulf of Aden, the Kushite Ocean, which has been called the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic that was once the Ethiopian Ocean. You can go to the maps and it say the Ethiopian Ocean. You see, and so our people was a people of water. Every time they say Africans migrated out the dam, they say we walked. You see, our people ain't walked no damn where. Our peoples was on the oceans. Our peoples was on the rivers. Our peoples was on the seas. They had mastered water. And that's why every time you go into an Egyptian temple, you see in the Holy of Holies, you see what they call the Ark of Heru, the Ark of Amen, the Ark of Mu. You see these great deities and gods and goddesses who had arks. You see that they would take to and sail up the Nile until they reached the heavens, because the Nile, flowed down from the heavens. You see, the Milky Way is the celestial Nile. And into our African brothers and sisters, that the celestial Nile was connected to the Nile on earth, that it sailed directly up out of the heavens, down to earth. You see? And so, the thing is, which they don't show, and what we talking about today, how our people navigate on the oceans, but what they don't show us, which I'm gonna show you, they show you little ships. You see, they show you little ships. Let me get out of this. Let me get out of this. Close out of that. You know what? I need. Let me get them maps. Let me get them maps. Right there. That's good. Right there. Let me get them maps. So if I have to throw them in there, they come right on up. Okay, that's it. Okay, I'm on it. Okay, I was one. Okay, now this is the first large Egyptian wooden boats were probably built around 2000 BC. You see, now they have the oldest boats at Abydos. You see, when you go over to where the first dynasty, and first and second dynasties, it was the first. I think the first couple of kings of the second dynasty was there. You see, but all of the kings and queens of the first dynasty was buried at Abydos. Now, Abydos is known for the temple of Osiris, but not far out is where the cemetery, the first royal cemetery of the first dynasty kings, Narmer, was not far from Abydos. You see, not far back from that temple of Osiris that was built by Seti. And so they continue to build in these sacred areas. Okay, and so you can see even here that the Egyptians was far more advanced than any other people on the planet. These are facts. You see, the first large wooden boats was built around 2000 BC. That's their speculation. But reality, they were, even before that, because they were going into India and they were going into the extremities of the East. You see? And so these are just, some of the smaller boats that they will show you. This is another one, where they talk about on this one, Egyptian ship on the Red Sea about 1250 BC, and it says Mr. Langton Cole calls attention to the rope truss in this illustration and stiffen the beam of the ship. So I believe that's this rope here. You see that stiffens the beam of the ship, I guess, so to keep it sturdy. No other such use of the truth is known until the days of modern engineering. You see? And so you see that these is, such advanced science that not even into the modern day. So there was no other contemporary of them days that were building on the level of the ancient Egyptians. See, now what they don't tell our people is that the ancient Egyptians was building barges. See, they never show these. Now you see this big ass barge. Now this is a model of Hatshepsut's barge, and she has 2 obelisks on this barge, and each one of them weighs 700 tons apiece. These is 2 of the largest single blocks of stone ever moved on the planet. I was looking at, that's another thing that I'm gonna bring up is I'm backing this shit up with the receipts. When it talks about megalithic building, okay, now you can go out there and you can see some motherfuckers had some rocks and shit, and and they balanced some rocks and shit, and we give you credit. You see, we're talking about architecture. We're talking about, cutting smooth blocks and, and building these structures up. And so we talking about, in moving heavy stone that, into the thousands of tons. It's crushing my brain to how our African ancestors on land and on water, on land, they even drug some of these stones across the land. And so, they had machinery. You understand? They had invented, machinery to move. But these barges here were large enough to where they could carry 2 obelisks, each weighing 700 tons apiece. Okay, weighing 700 tons apiece. So when we talk about going across the ocean, see, I don't want y'all to think that they were on them little, those are river boats, but they had seafaring and ocean-faring ships to be able to go across the ocean. I want you to understand that. And so, you can't find no ships like these as large as these. And, the Roman may have 1 or 2, you understand, but they got the architects from ancient Egypt. Now this, you can see here, the 2 obelisks. So, and you can see the rows, the decks up under the dam. So when you think about going on the Carnival cruise and shit, and how they got decks, you can see they got 3 different decks. You can see they got 3 different decks on there. You see what I'm saying? So this is a barge. You see, this was the largest Nile boat built at the time of the pharaohs. It was built to transport 2 huge obelisks and weighed a total of 700 tons apiece. They need to get that right. 700 tons apiece. You see? And so let me get down here to the map. Now, this is a smaller one. You see, this is in 1500 BC. So they had whole fleets of ships. You see, they had whole fleets of ships, different situations and occasions. You see, when they needed to go out on the oceans, when they needed to go out on the Red Sea, they're going to need something a little more sturdy than just riding on the Nile. And the Nile ain't nothing to play with. The Nile ain't nothing to play with. You can't go out there on no little, I done been out there. And matter of fact, I done seen little boys and shit. And I mean, they be on some little shit. I mean, and I mean that. You be like, how the hell did he get out here on that little ass, that little ass, I mean, look like a little plank. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see that little boy out there in the middle of the Nile. But that's in certain areas. In certain areas, that Nile gets very powerful. You see what I'm saying? And so you can't just be, in some of them areas with no anything. You see, and so I showed that one. And so this is another one. I showed that one. And so again, this is another variation, and I believe this is Sahu raids. This was this boat. Pharaoh Sahure sent such ships to Syria to bring back cargo of valuable timber. The two-leg mast could be lowered, and a thick taut cable bound prow to stern and reinforce the hull. You see what I'm saying? So they had mastered these ships. You see, they had master ships, so they always show ancient Egypt with some something like this. Now, there's some shit you ride on the Nile. You know what I'm saying? But we had to show you, you understand? So when you understand, when we get to these oceans, and so as I showed, earlier today, how our people came across the Indian, which today they call the Indian Ocean. Ain't no damn Indian Ocean. You see, this is the Kushite Ocean. Ain't an Indian nowhere in sight. The first people, so what you're looking at here is what they call the Indian Ocean Federation. You see, and these is all the nations that have a stake in the game of trade and, on the Indian Ocean. You see, from Australia all the way to South Africa. You see, now, when you're dealing with the first world, you're dealing with Africa. When you're dealing with the second world, you're dealing with all these nations that is on today what is called the Indian Ocean, which is, again, the Kushite Ocean. You see, these were all the nations, and so you see that these were the types of ships that the Kushites. As a matter of fact, I need to bring these down here. Let me bring these down here. You see, let me bring these down here. And let me bring this. Let me copy this so I can bring this down here closer to the map. You see? And so, and I put these in here just, and these ships right here are nice size too. You see, them is like Sahure's. And so, those ships could have made it too. You see, those ships could have made it too. And so you have to understand that it was the monsoons that took our peoples over there. It was the monsoons, the great trade winds that go from Africa to Asia and Asia back to Africa. You see, and they didn't just come to the west coast of India. This was one of the first places that they came. And so you see here, even before, understandably, you hear these people say that Mesopotamia was the oldest civil. That's not true. That's not true, because you can obviously see that they came to India first. You see, so but when you see them turn up, this is what they call today the Arabian Sea. Okay, ain't no Arab got no damn sea. So we're going to stop that. You see, the Arabs were goat herders. They didn't know nothing about no boats. So the name of sea after Arab is an insult. Okay, that's an insult. Okay, and so you see right here what they call the Indus Valley Civilization right here. You see, this is the Indus Valley Civilization. And you see that, a lot of those cities, which they do not show, are right here on the mouth, right here, today's Arabian Sea. You see, which is the Puntite Sea. This is the Sea of Punt, okay, not Arabia. This is the Sea of Punt. And so you see that, many Mohenjo-Daro is right there sitting on the mouth. And even that city that was supposedly founded by Krishna is supposed to be the Indian Dwarka. You see, they call Dwarka, D-W-A-R-K-A, Dwarka. And it's supposed to fill up under the, you understand, it's supposed to fill up under the sea. You see, and so that's right here along, up in here on this shoreline too. You see Dwarka. Matter of fact, let me back that up. Let me see where it would have been. Let me see if I'm lying. You see, because motherfuckers say, I don't know. So if I say Dwarka, let me see if it's where I say it was. Let me see if, let me get a map. Let me see it. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I lied, y'all. Maybe I just made something up. Let me see if I'm telling the truth. Let me see where it would be located. Okay, is that it? That's it. Okay, let me see if I'm lying. Let me put it in here, family. Let me see if I'm lying. Matter of fact, let me see if I like a better map than that. I like to get them good quality map. The motherfuckers damn it, so many megapixels. How many megapixels? That's a pretty decent megapixel. But I want it backed up so I can see. Okay, there it is right there. Okay, let's see if I'm lying. Let's see if I'm lying. Let's put it in there. Because that says a lot. That says a lot. Because there are Greeks that said that Osiris is the one that brought civilization to India. So when you talk about Dwarka right there, that city right there, and I was right. So when you see here, where did I drop in? I dropped it down. Okay, I want to see right here. So when you look, you see where it's located. It's right there, right up under that mouth. Right there. Right there. That's where it's located. You see? And so Dwarka was a city that was supposedly built by the god Krishna. Okay? Supposedly built by the god Krishna. Now let's see what one of the Greeks said about India. Matter of fact, where is it at? Let me go down here and I'll come. Matter of fact, it's right up in here. Now this Diodorus Siculus. Diodorus Siculus, who was a Greek historian who flourished in the 1st century. Now, we just got on the Greeks, but for argument's sake, we're going to see what they wrote. You see, it says, listen to this. Talking about Osiris being come to the borders of Ethiopia, raised high banks on either side of the river, least in the time of inundation, it shall overflow the country. So it shows that Osiris built dams in Ethiopia. You understand what I'm saying? To control the flood. Then it comes down here. It says, thence he passed through Arabia, bordering upon the Red Sea as far as India, and the utmost coast that were inhabited. He built likewise many cities in India. Listen to me. Listen to me. So you don't think we making this shit up. We want receipts. As motherfucker with the records, then we want receipts. Okay, he built likewise many cities in India, one of which he called Nasa, willing to have a remembrance of that in Egypt, where he was brought up. Okay, at this Nasa in India, he planted ivy which grows and remains here only of all other places in India or of the parts adjacent. He left likewise many other marks of his being in those parts by which the later inhabitants are induced to believe and do affirm that this God was born in India. Okay, that he was born in India. So we showed that the Krishna is Osiris. That's the God that they tried to recreate in the image of Osiris. And so that city, that's Dwarka, matter of fact, just to back it up, and so I don't, Dwarka, and Krishna, okay? And I ain't gonna put, because it's just here. The ancient city, Indian city of Dwarka, is known in Hindu culture to have been the great and beautiful city of Krishna, the Christ of the Hindu pantheon. Okay, the Hindu writings say that when Krishna left the earth to join the spiritual world, the age of Kali began, and Dwarka and its inhabitants was submerged by the sea. Okay, you can look it up. Was submerged by the sea, so it fell into the sea. You see, and so I say, you see, and so Let me get back here. And so, our people have a lot of impact on all of that over there in India. And you can see that the monsoons even came into the Bay of Bengal. You see, and so even when you go over there into Myanmar, I got them down here. You see, I got them down here. And so you see, even when they come over here into Myanmar, and you see up in here, you see even the Andaman Islands. If y'all hip to the Andaman Islands, and so the Andaman Islands is over here. I can move this, I can move this star right here, and I can put that right there. Wait a minute, I done made it too small. Okay, right there by the Andaman Islands, and and you can see it pulsate. So right there is where the Andaman Islands is located. And so right there, if you've done any research, you got Africans past India. Okay, they ain't just in, we know they was in Southern India because they passed India. But a lot of our African people have been pushed into the island. They were in the islands anyway, but those that were on the mainland, a lot of them was pushed into the islands when the usurpers came down in there. You see? And so when you come into these, you see, all through these lands down there, they got pyramids. You see, and that's very powerful right there. This is showing you that the Kushite culture had influenced all of Southern Asia. You see, and I can break some of them structures down. And when you look at the blueprint, you see, and you look at the ground plan, you see that is on the ancient Egyptian temple structure. There's no doubt. So when you go here, you see, they got pyramid temples. They got hundreds, man, just all through, all through the sky. You see, which was amazing to me, to see that, that our culture had expanded all through where they got more pyramids than India. You see, they got more pyramid type temples. Now, this one right here is Karnak, which is, with an O instead of Karnak. And so that's very interesting that you got Karnak and you got Karnak. One spelled with an O and one spelled with an A. And so you can see the similarities in that. These two temples, one in India and one in Myanmar. You see, one in the Bay of Bengal. Now this one is also in southern India. See, these is the Egyptian style in southern India. See, that's where our people, primarily, and I can show you the temples that, the temples that's in southern India is them ones made out of stone. You see them ones made out of stone. And, and I can show you the layout of them. They're not extensive as some of them are not as extensive as the Egyptian style temples, because the Egyptians, they more elaborate. But you see, they are segments of the temple where, in the ancient, it might be 4 or 5 more segments, far longer than a little temple like this. But even on the blueprint of this, you can see that it's still the Egyptian temple. It does not change. Even going into the Holy of Holies, where you got the deity in the most central part of the temple. You see, that's all coming up out of Egypt. And you hear people out here talking about, Indian, some sheep's toe. You cannot find, and though I give much respect to our Kushite family that constructed these structures in India, you do not have a temple in India that can touch how ancient Egypt is. Not one. These are primarily AD structures, even though that's still considered to be ancient. You see, they are still AD structures. All the monuments in Egypt are in the BC period. All of them. You see, all of them, all thousands and thousands of them are in the BC period. So we got to stop playing games. You see there the cow there, and you see, and that's a very beautiful temple. You see, that's a very beautiful temple. You can see the Egyptian Kushite origins in that temple. And like I say, it's not just looking on the outside. is looking at the blueprint. It's looking at to prove it. You see, to prove it. And so this is in Champa. Now, a lot of people don't even discuss Champa. You see, they don't even discuss Champa. Champa was next to the Mon Khmer. Let me get up here. Let me see if I got Champa. Well, I do. Here it is. So when you talk about Angkor Wat, and we're you know, that's what the temples we got the African faces, and I'll show you if you didn't see it. You see right there, see Vietnam, you can see right there Ho Chi Minh City. And you know, that's where they was fighting a lot of that heavy Vietnam War. Ho Chi Minh City, and you see Angkor Wat is not far from that. You see Thailand, and you know the pyramids, and so when you seen that movie Dead Presidents, and a lot of other movies, they was writing letters to the brothers like, black man, go home, this ain't your war. That's what they was telling him, because they knew, a lot of them knew who they were. Like, you know, we you know, this is the black man nation. You see? Yeah, but you got to understand the fact that it's Africans in there too, unmixed. See, they don't show them. The Nagas is there. They still there. You see? And so you can see right there, Angkor Wat, Siem Reap. Now, here and right next to Angkor Wat is Champa. Now, you see Ham is in that, and so I can show you where Ham is also spelled Cham. So in the Bible, Ham is, and I showed you, if I didn't show you that, what is that? That's 95. Let me show. Let me work out right quick. I ain't gonna be long, but I'm gonna be strong. I got 10 minutes and I'm out of here. Here it is right here. And so you see at the top, I took that right on up out the encyclopedia, the Christian. You see Ham or Cham, burnt, swarthy, black. You see Ham or Cham, burnt, swarthy, black. And then what it say down there? Ham, he dwelt in Egypt, had Africa for his inheritance. Now let me black this up now. I'm gonna move swiftly. Now this is coming out another one of those Christian encyclopedias. It was written by the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal for many of y'all that got the Krakatosis, and you need that. I got that for you. So here it is. And so we understand this is about Mizraim, which is Egypt. Okay. Now I'm gonna read this quickly. Okay. It says Mizraim, you know, appear to be it talk about the names of Mizraim and the descendants of Mizraim in Genesis, and you can go through them, appear to be all names of nations rather than individuals. And they include far more than Egypt. So the thing is, when you go in there, they talk about Ham, they talk about Shem, they talk about Japheth. All of Japheth and Shem's genealogy is individuals. They were never nations. The Shemites did not have no nation until they stole Canaan. So they never had nation. But from the very beginning, when the names of the Hamites is spoken, they are spoken of as nations from the very beginning. So that show you right there how they took a more ancient civilization and force-fitted it in a interpretation of the Bible. You see, you know, and tried to force fit, because ain't no way that Ham and Shem and Japheth got off the boat at the same fucking time, and Ham automatically go to be nations, and the rest of them stay shepherds for 1,000 years, you know, late until they create their first civilization. That don't make no sense. What did Ham get on the boat that Shem and Japheth did not get? You see, how did Ham come straight off the flood after the flood? How did he go straight to build the nation, which it would have took thousands and thousands and thousands of years to develop that kind of knowledge? And then you talk about, you know, coming off the boat with 8 people. You ain't no other people on the planet. Everybody else been. How the fuck did Ham, you know, procreate enough people to start building pyramids? You see, which would have took another tens of thousands of years to develop that type of a population after being decimated to 8 people. How in the hell you think you're going to get enough people in a nation and you only got 8 people? Man, that would take thousands of years to repopulate the planet like that. So how can Ham be, because you didn't took a nation and nations that had already been on the planet for hundreds of thousands of years, and you force-fitted them in a lie. Wait a minute, let me keep moving so I can prove what I'm talking about. You see? And so it says right here, Mizraim, therefore like Cush, hear me out, this is the Christian Encyclopedia, and perhaps Ham, geographically represent a center whence colonies went forth in the remotest period of post-Diluvian history. Listen, we regard the distribution of the Egyptians, the Mizrahites, as showing that their colonies were but a part of the great migration that gave the Cushites the command of the Indian Ocean. Okay, I'll read it to you again. And of the Mizrahites, which are the Egyptians, as showing that their colonies were but a part of the great migration that gave the Cushites. Now you see right there how Cushites and Egyptians are interchangeable. But if you go into the white man's history today on the academic level, they are trying to make the Egyptians and the Nubians 2 different races. See, they said some shit in the Bible they wish they had not said. See, in the Bible, Egypt, the Nubians, and the Egyptians are brothers. See, they fucked up that they told the truth. You see, even the Greeks say that the Egyptians and the Ethiopians was brothers. And so they academics, so I don't take nothing from them. I don't accept nothing from them. They opened up their fucking mouth and they told the truth, and many other people told the truth. Now they want to go back on the truth. Okay? Now, let me get back up here. So I wanted to prove that the Africans had dominated the Indian Ocean, and that I wasn't the first one that brought that up. You see? You know, I wasn't the first one that brought that up. And so, wait a minute, let me get back down here to chat. I got 5 minutes, family, and I'm about to get up out. So you see, and I showed you that it was in, matter of fact, did I show you? Yeah, I did. Wait a minute, did I show you? Chat. 5 minutes, family. Just had that map. There you go. So you see right there, Champa. So that Cham is also Ham. You see, in Cambodia back, they was called Cambodia. And you see right here the great empire of the Mon Khmer. So that showed you that they came by way of the monsoons. You see, they came by way of the monsoon. Now, one of these other dynasty called the Chola dynasty. And see, they was the ones that took it. These are, and you see right there in the southern area. You see, in that southern area, they got, and that's where they got, where that other, matter of fact, wait a minute, before I go, I need to know what number that. That's 86. Let me come down here. Where is that one? I want to show you that one temple. I might don't have it in this one. I don't have it in this one. That's all right. I wanted to show you this other temple, and it was most definitely an Egyptian temple. But I'll show y'all next time around. You see, let me get back up here to 86. And so under the Chola, you see, they was, these are the Africans. They were the ones that, took it, that African, that Southern Indian, which is the African, the Cushite. They the ones that took it even all the way to past Japan. As you can see, they are past Japan. You see, so what they fighting over there today, what they call the South China, it ain't even no damn China. It ain't even no China. You see? And then they don't even show you the Africans that was in southern China. They was in southern China. You see? 2 minutes, family, 2 minutes. And so I'm showing you how they got over there. And then when it boiled down to it, India broke away from Africa. You see, it was actually connected to Africa. And it broke away and it smashed into what you call Eurasia. And when it crashed into Eurasia, that's why the Himalayas, you see, mountains is some of the highest mountains, if not the highest mountains on the planet. Let me end with this, family. Let me end with this. So you understand that this language thing, and understand that you never even took into consideration. You got Ghana, right? But you got Afghanistan. You see? And Afghanistan is what? Next to what? The Hindu Kush Mountains. You see? Now, then, you think that might be a coincidence. You say, man, that's just a coincidence, Seti. But then you got the Mauryan Empire, which is Moor, and then you got Mauritania. You see, you got the Mauryan Empire, and you got Mauritania. You see, which means black again. Okay. Then you got Shanghai, and then you got Songhai. You see? Okay, wait a minute. You see right there the Shanghai, you see the Songhai. Wait a minute. Let me get what other. And then you got a skier. And then you got a Ashoka. Okay, you got a skier, and then you got a Ashoka. But let me end with this now. Let me end with this, and I'm on where the great Queen Mother Drusilla Dungy Houston to back me up, since a lot of people think I might have missed and I ain't got my receipts. Let me end with this, and this is from the great Queen Mother Drusilla Dungy Houston, wonderful Ethiopians of the Kushite Empire, and what she say. Okay, and what she say. This is on page 222, and it says part of that advancing wave of the old race that swept eastward and westward, people in primitive Arabia, Egypt, and Chaldea. The rich merchants of the ancient Indian commerce had been Dravidians. One of their greatest kingdoms was Pandya, so noted in the Sanskrit writings, the Nandas, in Bihar, of whom the great Chandragupta sprang, and his greater grandson, Ashoka, were non-Aryan. These were supposed to be the greatest Sudra. And you see, even there, one of the terms that they use for is Sudra. And you also understand Sudan, and you also understand the Sud swamps. You see, so even that term is also along with Naga, is used in Africa to identify our people. Sudanese, Sudra. You see, so again, so these were of the supposed to be the greatest of Sudra, the Tashaka. Now, sometimes they say Tashak, but many times they put the A on there, Tashaka. So you got Shaka there, the Tashaka and Naga nations, who figure so largely in Sanskrit traditions, are words purely African. Okay? Purely African. And so Tashaka, if you look him up, Tashaka is the king of the Nagas. Okay? He's the king of the Nagas. I don't think I do have a picture of him. Matter of fact, it's way down here. And I'll show you that, and then I'll get black with y'all tomorrow. Right here. Tashaka. King of the Naga. You see? King of the Naga. Tashaka. So, and then we bring it all the way back to show you that this comes straight up out of Africa. You see right there, the winged serpent, the African as the winged serpent, the return of the dragon, the return of the Christ consciousness is here, family. The dragon is the winged serpent. It's only a zoo type of the sun, the solar deity. It is a symbol of the solar deity. The fire that the dragon is spitting is solar fire. It is a symbol of the African race. Okay? The dragon lords, the dragon race. And so this is the divine serpentine energy that is symbolic of immortal wisdom and knowledge and consciousness. Thank you for being here today, family. Make sure you check me out, kingseti.com. Make sure you check me out also, generalseti.com and Patreon General Seti. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Black Pop.